Hey everyone, Stephen Marcus here again, and today we're going to be learning about the Quakers, a distinctive voice in American Christian history. So, as a Southern Baptist, I wanted to explore a tradition that was quite different from my own to better appreciate the diversity of American Christianity. And when I say that, what I mean is Quakers are a little bit different from Southern Baptists. Southern Baptists have their roots more so in conservative values, while Quakers, they do have that, but like modern day Quakers, they're more so, and even in the past, more so associated with like liberal or leaning kind of left, right? And I know you're not supposed to like talk about politics with the different types, right? But you'll see in a second what I mean here when we go throughout these slides, okay? But if you look in the top left corner, you have their emblem here, the red star with the black star on top, all right? This is their emblem that is associated with them, as well as the peace dove. However, they don't believe in necessarily in emblems or icons in those regards. But this, like I said, this is one that is associated with their denomination. Okay, so main two individuals right here, very important for Quakers, is George Fox and William Penn. So, introduction and personal communication. So, I chose the Quakers, also known as the Religious Society of Friends. So, if you ever come across like maybe some sort of church that says Religious Society of Friends or maybe Friends, they're talking about Quakers. Okay, that's more of the modern title that they have adopted. All right. So because I've always admired their radical commitment to peace, and when I say radical, I just mean like they're very devoted, right? Very, very focused on peace, equality, and simplicity. Learning about their distinct theology and historical influence has challenged me to think about how faith drives social action in ways different from my own Baptist heritage. Okay. So looking up here at the top image, this is a modern day group of Quakers or friends. I believe they would still maybe say Quakers today, but maybe some churches have, they call themselves Friends. Okay, if you look in the bottom left down here at this map, I know it's from year 2000. There wasn't very many out there. This was the most recent one. I know it's over like 25 years old or 25 years old now, but looking at this map right here, the dark red is going to represent a dense population or a more dense population of Quakers. All right, 0.45% to 6.66%. And what I find fascinating is I am from Indiana, and I actually live in this county right here that is kind of yellow. All right, but what's cool is I didn't realize there were so many, such a dense population of Quakers in my state. All right, especially around Indianapolis area right here. All right, you'll also see them scattered throughout the East Coast as well as the Pacific Northwest. Good amount in Oklahoma up here, and so on and so forth. Right. Another fun fact, Richard Nixon was raised in a conservative Quaker faith of his mother, to which his father converted from Methodism. And I'll have that source for you, not on slide 9, but I will have that for you in the abstract. All right, so origins and key beliefs. The Quaker movement began in the mid 1600s under George Fox, which is that individual I showed you on the first slide, as well as right here in this slide, in England. They emphasize what they call the inner light, meaning every person has direct access to God without clergy. That's very important because those who know, the history of Christianity and whatnot, the division in the church and all that, it has a lot to do with the clergy, okay? Especially for Catholicism, because people were being charged, money or taxes or indulgences for the priest or the clergy to forgive them of their sins, okay? Which was like kind of, a big, it created a big rift, and you could see why for that reason, right? Amongst many other things, okay? But their core beliefs for Quakers is to have access to God without clergy, okay? Their worship is silent, waiting for the Holy Spirit to inspire speech, and they believe in the spiritual equality of all people, including women, which is very important because obviously women didn't have the same rights they do today as they did back then. Okay, so they were kind of like the voice of the little guy. Okay, and you will go through that throughout the slideshow, whether it's women's rights, rights of slaves, right? And then as well as rights of Native Americans, okay? Just kind of like the Jesuits down in South America. So silent worship, as I just mentioned, spirit-led speech, equality among all people which includes women, of course. So Quakers in early America. So the Quaker movement included this gentleman known as William Penn, who founded Pennsylvania in 1861. He created it as a safe haven for Quakers and a model of religious freedom. This colony became known for democratic governance, tolerance, and fair treatment of Native Americans, laying groundwork for American ideals of liberty and religious pluralism. So when you think of American history, you always you're gonna come across the Quakers, right? Because they're very influential in regards to Underground Railroad and helping the slaves, right? Helping people trying to escape slavery, to earn their freedom, right? Very important. And what's kind of cool is you guys are probably already aware, but the oatmeal brand Quaker Oats. They say it's modeled after William Penn, but with further research, it wasn't necessary that way. But it looks very similar, right? So advocated religious freedom and democracy, early American leaders in tolerance and justice. Right, next slide. So, social impact and contributions. Quakers were among the earliest abolitionists, opposing slavery before it was popular to do so. They were pioneers in women's rights, like Lucretia Mott, which is pictured right down here, and have consistently maintained a pacifist witness, refusing military service and advocating peace throughout U.S. history. So, of course, against slavery, against war, right? That doesn't mean that there weren't some influential people that did serve in the military. The name's not coming to me right now. As I started, presenting the slideshow, I totally blanked out on his name. But there was a famous Quaker that did stand up and fight against the British in the American Revolution. Other famous people you may have heard of is Benjamin Lay. All right, down here. All right, and then like I mentioned before with their emblem, this is going to be one of the other emblems that they had, which is that peace dove right here, okay? And you might see this in some places where they hold worship, right? Quaker meeting, all are welcome, right? Pioneers of women's rights and suffrage, early abolitionists opposing slavery, and the pacifists opposing war, conscientious objectors in U.S. history. So distinctive practices and theology. So their worship is unique. Silent gatherings where anyone may speak if led by the Spirit. They make decisions by consensus rather than voting, emphasizing unity and peace. Their lifestyle reflects simplicity, integrity, and community, rejecting excessive materialism for spiritual focus. So if you look down here at these two images, these are modern day meetings for Quaker meetings, all right? Or you could say meeting of friends. Right, and you see how they're all in a circle. And then here's an old depiction of Quakers from the past. So consensus decision making, not voting, and they live a very simple lifestyle and have they follow that with their worship. Okay, worship, and as well as emphasis on peace, integrity, and strong community. So broader significance and legacy. The slide's going to go over what I mentioned in slide 1 or the introduction slide on, if you view them from a political lens, they would end up on that left side of the spectrum, okay? So today, Quakers continue to influence American society through civil rights activism, humanitarian work, and peace-building efforts. Their consistent voice for nonviolence and equality has left an enduring mark on American values and models religious diversity rooted in lived conviction. All right, so you can see in these images here, of course, all big issues today, whether it's immigration, right? There are some Quakers down here at the southern border, all right? Another hot topic or hot debate, military aid to Israel, right? You can see they're protesting. There's their emblem right there, as well as down here or up here. There's that emblem as well. And you know what? When I was researching these guys, there's been a lot of issues with these people kind of swaying away from the Word of God and focusing more on these social justice issues, where they're more focused on this rather than Christianity itself. Okay, so there's a lot of criticism with that, with those regards. So personal reflection. Learning about the Quakers has broadened my perspective on what or Christian witness can look like. While my own Baptist tradition emphasizes biblical inerrancy and evangelism, Quakers remind me that faith also calls us to radical peace, simplicity, and justice in the public sphere. So the reason I put this down here, Betsy Ross, as I mentioned, when you think of American history, you're going to think of the Quakers, and early American history, Betsy Ross. I thought it kind of went with what I was talking about. Down here on the right, modern day Quakers in the modern world. Self-explanatory right there. And then also, I just thought this was a cool image to include because it is like their emblem, the peace dove above the Bible. So inspired by their commitment to peace and social justice, appreciating religious diversity enriches American Christian heritage. So here's my sources. I'll have some other sources included in my abstract as well as the one from Richard Nixon, and that source where I got that from. But thank you guys for taking the time to watch my presentation on the Quakers. I look forward to your responses, and I also look forward to watching your posts on the denomination that you chose. Very exciting, and I hope you guys have a great weekend if you're watching this on Friday or Saturday. And if not, I hope you have a great week next week, all right? Thank you so much, and God bless you guys.